transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic remains. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us, and give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds, and we take shelter of the lotus feet. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Satma. Vando Mui Savadana Mate. Vando Mui Savadana Mate. Yahara prasade bai e bhavatori ai. Yahara prasade bai e bhavatori ai. Krishna prapti hoya hoite. Krishna prapti hoya hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Anakori Homane Asha. Anakori Homane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Ye prasade pure sava asha. Ye prasade pure sava asha. Chakudana dilo ye janme janme prabhu se. Chakudana dilo ye janme janme prabhu se. Divya Gyan Ride Prakashito. Divya Gyan Ride Prakashito. Prema Bhaktiya Hoite Avidya Vinashayate. Prema Bhaktiya Hoite Avidya Vinashayate. Vedekaya Haracharito. Vedekaya Haracharito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Lokanath Lokera Jivana Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya Deo More Padachaya Ebeya Shagushuti Puwana Ebeya Shagushuti Puwana Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya Deo More Padachaya Ha ha Prabhu Korodoya Deo More Padachaya Ebeya Shagushuti Puvana Ebeya Shagushuti Puvana Doi Padelo Ela Sharana Doi Padelo Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagana, Jaya Jagana, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava. I'm allergic to this flower, sorry. Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava. Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava. Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Satashi Srimad Bhai Charnarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Caritamrta Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the Assembled Devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Vishnu. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Antya Lila, Chapter 5. Ramananda Rai instructs Pradyumna Mishra. Text 119. Purna, complete. Shat Aishwarya, possessing 6 opulences. Chaitanya, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swayam, himself. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tanre, him. Kaili, you have made. Kshudra Jiva, an ordinary living entity. Spulinga Samana, exactly equal to the spark. Purna Shat Aishwarya Chaitanya Swayam Bhagavan Tandra Kaili Kshudra Jiva Spulinga Saman Purna Shat Aishwarya Chaitanya Swayam Bhagavan Tanre Kaili Kshudra Jiva Spulinga Saman. Please chant. Purna Shadaishwara Chaitanya Swayam Bhagavan Ladies. Translation. You have calculated Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in 6 opulences, to be on the level of an ordinarily living being. Instead of knowing him as the supreme fire, you have accepted him as a spark. Purport. In the Upanishads, it is said, Yathagnir Vispulinga Vyucharanti. The living entities are like sparks of fire, and His Lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is considered the original great fire. When we hear this Shruti Vakya, or message from the Vedas, we should understand the distinction between the Supreme Lord Krishna and the living entities. A person under the control of the external energy, however, cannot understand that distinction. Such a person cannot understand that the Supreme Person is the original great fire, whereas the living entities are simply small, fragmental parts of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita 15:7, Mama evangshu jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashasthanindriyani prakritisthani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. There is a distinction between the body and the soul of the materially existing living being. But because Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath do not possess material bodies, there is no distinction between their bodies and souls. On the spiritual platform, body and soul are identical. There is no distinction between them. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.38, Etat ishanam ishasya prakristhopi tat gunai nayujyate sadatma sthai yatha buddhistat ashraya. This is the divinity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord cannot be influenced by the material qualities. His Lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is unaffected by the influence of the 3 modes of material nature. Indeed, his devotees are also unpolluted by the influence of the external energy because they engage in the service of his Lordship. Even the very body of a devotee becomes spiritualized, just as an iron rod put in the fire becomes as qualified as the fire, because it becomes red hot and will immediately burn anything it touches. Therefore, the poet from Bengal committed a great offense by treating Lord Jagannath's body and Lord Jagannath, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as 2 different entities, material and spiritual, as if the Lord were an ordinary living being. The Lord is always the master of the material energy. Jai Shri Radha Gopi. Therefore, he is not doomed to be covered by the material energy like an ordinary living entity. Purnashat Aishvara Caitanya Swayam Bhagavan Tandre Kaili Kshudra Jiva Spuringa Samana. You have calculated Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in 6 opulences, to be on the level of an ordinary living being, Instead of knowing him as the supreme fire, you have accepted him as a spark. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langaiti Grim Yat Kripatamaham Ande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. So for those of you who have not been in the last few weeks, actually, this story has been going on in the section, the last part of this 5th chapter. Just to give a short description, that a Bengali Brahmana came to visit Jagannath Puri, and he wanted to read a poem he composed in glorification to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But as usually, before anything was presented to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it had to be approved by Swarup Damodar. That was the standard. Because as it was explained in the discussion, it was a Bhagavanacharya, a devotee of Lord Chaitanya, who was, this Brahmana was a friend of him, and he insisted that this Brahmana reads the poem, but he was told that Swarup Damodar Goswami, he has to approve, because we cannot present to the Lord anything which is not pure and pleasing, especially if it has a mixing rasa, bhasa, conflicting tastes, then this will displease the Lord. So therefore, he was hesitating, but because that devotee was insisting, all right, he finally said, bring him and he reads it first. So he started reading just the opening verse. And that invocation contained a comparison of Lord Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya being the soul of Jagannath. Very poetic. And when he read it, all the devotees, yes, wonderful, great. And Swarup Damodar became actually very upset. And he started asking him questions, and first he asked him, can you explain, what do you mean? And he explained in more words that, Hare Krishna, that yes, Lord Jagannath is here, and he has taken a form, a wooden form, and Lord Chaitanya is like his soul. And then Swarup Damodar started chastising him. And then devotees were kind of surprised. They thought it's a very nice poetry. But Swarup Damodar actually, because this Brahmana took the critique very humbly, and he actually understood he made mistake. So Swarup Damodar explained and taught him the proper Siddhanta. And then the Brahmana actually, and he told him a very important thing at the end, that if you want to compose poetry for the Lord, you have to learn it from pure devotees. So you have to stay here and study with the devotees, and then you can present nicely to the Lord poetry. So here in this verse, that's Swarup Damodar's explanation. And he said first that you made a great aparada by making distinction between the Lord and the Lord's body. And he started his chastisement by calling him a fool, which is kind of very straightforward and direct approach. But he said, Are Mukha, you fool, you have brought ill fortune upon yourself, for you have no knowledge of the existence of the two Lords, Jagannath and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, nor you have faith in them. So, yes, one may compose poetry out of sentiment, but one should have proper understanding and faith that, as he explains, that Lord Jagannath is Purna Ananda Chit Swarupa. His Swarupa, his spiritual body is Chit. It is eternal, and it's Purna Ananda, it's full of bliss. You have made a great offense by making a distinction between the Lord and his body. And now also he says that also you made the same mistake with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And also although he's Swayam Bhagavan, you consider him or compare him to a spark or to an individual soul. This is also very offensive. So important here is to note that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Swayam Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the word for the Supreme, meaning one who possesses all opulences, and specifically, as described in Shastra, the 6 opulences in unlimited way, unlimitedly. So that is something very different from an individual jiva, kshudra jiva, ordinary living entity. And Prabhupada begins his purport by quoting Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad, where there is this comparison, which he often quotes, of a spark and a fire. And of course, all quote this verse, all spiritualists coming from India that accept Shruti, Vakya, or the Vedas as the most important pramana or evidence for the absolute knowledge. That yes, the jivas are as sparks and the Brahman and absolute is fire. But one can interpret this verse also to mean that yes, we are just the sparks of the fire, and once we realize we are actually fire, then that distinction is not anymore there, right? That's their idea. But this is the same mistake, because there is distinction between the fire and the spark. And what is the main distinction? Besides that, of course, the fire is much more powerful. What else is something which you, no matter what you do, constitutionally they have different nature, yes? Okay, yes, yes. Yes, I was asking about the distinction. They have the same nature. Spark is fire, and the fire is the origin. But what also is distinct between them? Quantity, yes. Yes, and as a consequence to that difference of the quantity, what can happen to the spark? Yes.
Yeah, the spark can get extinguished if it doesn't stay in the fire.
Yes, yes. That's the main difference, which is not acknowledged by the Mayavada interpretation of this, because when the spark goes away from the fire, it gets covered and it can just disappear in the darkness because of its small nature. But that will never happen with the fire. The fire cannot be covered by darkness. So this is the main point of Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord is always spiritual. He's always master of all energies and the material energies. Therefore, he is not doomed to be covered like an ordinary living entities. So, this is a crucial difference. And also for us who are on the way to join again the fire and regain our constitutional position, spiritual position of eternal nature, full of knowledge and bliss, not being covered by ignorance. So these two examples are very important, one of the spark and the fire, and also the other connected with fire, how if you put something which is different from the fire in the fire, like iron, it gradually becomes fire. Like Srila Prabhupada says in one class, he quotes this many times, this example, where he says, you put the fire and it becomes warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer, and then it becomes red hot. It's still iron. It has a different, it's not the same, but it acts the same way. So, in the same way, if the living entities which is enclosed in the cage, in the machine of the material energy, starts using that material energy with which is covered in the service of the Lord, dedicating everything, words, thoughts, feelings, and desires and actions for the pleasure of the Supreme Fire, then all these become spiritualized, they become fiery. So that's a simple analogy, that's a simple understanding, and it seems, well, that's quite an easy way. We just have to act in the fire, right? And then we will become fiery, we'll become spiritual. Our bodies will become spiritual. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. It becomes spiritualized in that sense. It will still, of course, externally be part of the material energy and how it unfolds and changes in time. Because the body actually is dead. There's nothing alive in it. It's a dead matter. And as soon as the soul leaves the body, it will just drop dead again. So that's what will happen. But Prabhupada calls that body used in the service of Krishna spiritual because it can have that effect. In other words, it can spiritualize things because the energies, all existing energies are actually according to Shastra, there is distinction, but actually it's ultimately one energy, and from the point of the Supreme, it's all spiritual, it's one energy. But for us, which we are covered by the external energy, there is a difference. But when that external energy, the only difference is that external energy means forgetfulness. It regains its spiritual nature, although by its constitution it will not change into eternality. It will still be that matter. In other words, the body will still drop dead. It doesn't mean when we become devotees and act as devotees, we'll become eternal. It means we'll not get another material body. That's the goal. But the body will act, it will grow old, will get disease, and will drop at one point. But if it is used in Krishna's service, then it can also change others through that influence of the spiritual energy. But the important point is that we always have a choice because we are always spark. It's very important to be aware of that. This choice lies all the time. We cannot think, well, I decided to, I made a choice, I am a servant of the Lord, and now I'm safe. Because we are spark, we're fallible. We're not infallible. we can always make the wrong choice. Srila Prabhupada says, even while we're in the spiritual energy, because we have the freedom of free will. We have a free will to choose. And we have to repeatedly make the right choice. As an insignificant small spark, we can make the wrong choice. And we can come close to the fire or go further away. And also, like putting the iron in the fire, we can become more fiery and come out of it. And it's nothing to do with our external dress, whatever, whatever we think we may be, how to say, safe by externalities, but it's all about the consciousness with which we perform our activities. So we may look like we are in the fire, but we can be actually quite cold. Or we can go in the fire and go outside, and then again go in the fire and go outside. So what will the iron become really red hot? It won't, because it will start to cool down and then cool again and getting hot a little bit. And so that's what usually happens while we are in the beginning stages, or even to the middle stages of the devotional service. Sometimes it's estimated as percentage of our remembrance of consciousness of Krishna, in terms of where we choose Maya or Krishna. So yes, acharyas explain, when we have a little bit attraction to Krishna and a lot of attraction to his external energy, in other words, our identity is more centered around aham, mameti, I and mine. And this is the false conception or type of pride, abhiman, which is the reason of our existence here. This is the only reason. Once we change that identity, everything is solved. But that change, it's not just some whimsical decision. It is a very profound change which takes place usually gradually, and results in a complete absorption in the Lord. When we offer everything to Him, we completely take shelter of Him. So when we have small attraction to Krishna, that's the beginning. That's called Shraddha. We have some faith, we accept the Lord, and we want to come close. And when this proportion grows more and more, then we start to actually serve and practice bhajana kriya, perform activities as a service, as an offering to the Supreme. And the more we do that, the more we start to, in the association of persons who are also have the same goal, and then gradually we start to clean these false conceptions, the anarthas, and that's the stage of anartha nivritti. And the more we clean that, there's also stages in this anartha nivritti, but when most of that it's removed by, especially as Bhagavatam says, a regular hearing of the activities of the Supreme and chanting His glories and His names, then it's almost completely removed. And that's the stage of nishtha. We are firmly fixed. But then that's compared to half attracted to the Lord and still having some attraction to the material energy. But it's already a little bit more than half. That gives us a firm stage. We don't go back from the fire. We're kind of saying, okay, now I realized I have to make continuously the right choice. I have to stay in the fire. And then that's the nishtha stage. We are actually choosing Krishna and we become more attracted. And when then it becomes more and more. Then we actually, we actually become, we develop a profound taste for devotional service. We enjoy serving the Lord. We enjoy being in contact. It's not anymore, as Rupa Goswami says, bitter in taste. Yet Krishna Nama, he says this, Krishna Nama, the name of Krishna is sweet as the most sweet thing. But for somebody who is sick, like a person sick from jaundice, the sweet things are bitter in taste. And the same thing for somebody who has the jaundice of material consciousness, it means the wrong or false identity of aham mameti, then it's bitter. The name is bitter. So that's the simple taste, as Srila Prabhupada says. We don't need to take external exams to see how much we are advanced. We have to see how much we are disgusted with the material taste and how much we are attracted to the spiritual taste, especially to the holy name. So that attraction develops, and when it develops more and matures, then we can appreciate the sweetness of the Lord. And then we gradually, at that point, or even earlier, even when most anarthas are removed, like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami says, at that time we can have a glimpse of our relationship with Krishna, our eternal rati, attraction. We can understand, and we become strongly attracted to Krishna in a particular way, and that attraction grows and grows, and from rati, ruchi, from this deep spiritual taste, it becomes asakti, very strong attachment, which grows into bhava, or love, or preliminary stage of the love of God, or a ray of prema, of the pure love of God. And at bhava, almost it's all completely removed. All anarthas are removed, but there could be still some something left from before. Some aparada could be there. And at prema, it's completely pure. And then, of course, we not only have realized our identity, but we act with it, and we act in the spiritual relationship with Krishna, in the spiritual world, even if we are in this body. But this is very, very rare. However, earlier we can understand that Krishna's body is not different from him, from his identity, or there is no difference between Krishna's soul and the body. And that is the main mistake which this type of philosophy, which does not acknowledge that the Supreme ultimately is a person. That makes equal of the Lord and the Jiva. And this is offensive. This is a great aparada, which Swarup Damodar mentions, to equal the living entity and the Lord. And the other aparada is to make a distinction between the body and the soul of the God. And this is exactly what this type of philosophers say. God is one, we are all God, and there is a difference between God and his manifestations in this world. He takes material forms. And this is very offensive. That shows just simply ignorance, because it's very logical. If we accept at all that there is a Supreme, we cannot explain by any means that this Supreme becomes covered by ignorance. There's no sense in this statement. And why it will be? Why? Brahman becomes covered by ignorance. There is no answer to that. The only answer which such type of philosophers give is anirvachaniya. You cannot talk about that. You cannot explain it. It's beyond words. But it's just a way to avoid the simple, straightforward, logical question. If there is a supreme source of everything, supremely powerful, supremely knowledgeable, there is no way that he is covered. He is always predominator of everything, of all the energies. But we are predominated, and once we understand this and act in this way, we also can become aloof, or as Prabhupada quoted this verse from the Bhagavatam, we can also be immune. Although within the three modes of nature, within the material nature, we can become immune by them, not become influenced. And how it is done? By again and again acting in a way that we are in the fire, sacrificing everything for Krishna and doing everything for his pleasure, nothing for our own pleasure. Nothing for our own enjoyment, nothing. Even it doesn't, enjoyment means just gross enjoyment of the senses, as the verse here says. It's mana shashthanindriyani. We have 6 senses, but also the mind, the mana. And the mind is actually the seat and wants to enjoy. And they are gross enjoyments and subtle. And the subtle are more difficult to give up. That's the real test, actually. It's easy to give up once we start practicing, and the lower taste kind of fades away of lower enjoyments. For example, like intoxicants and meat, things which are, as according to Shastra, very attractive to the conditioned souls. For ones who take on the path of spiritual advancement, it becomes quickly distasteful. But the subtle enjoyments, they are very difficult. Raghunath Das Goswami says they're actually shameless, and he gives different comparison also to analogies to visualize them. And one of them is the propensity to cheat, to pretend, kapata, to be duplicitous, to look like that we like to present ourselves as devotees or spiritualists or yogis. But inside there is something else. There's some other desires like that. So that's called kapata, and he says this is like a donkey's urine. It's very burning, but we actually like to take shower in that urine. And instead of, he says, this is in his work called Mana Shiksha, Instructions to the Mind. He is writing to his mind. He's addressing his mind. He says, "Oh mind, you're such a fool. Instead of desiring to bathe in the nectarian shower of Radha Krishna's loving pastimes and service, you want to enjoy this burning urine of the donkey, of deceit." And then the acharyas comment that there are different examples, different levels of deceit for all the spiritualists. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains there are, according to the social and spiritual position in Varnashrama, there are grihastas and renunciates and different levels. And each of those, they have their specific way of deceit. And he identifies them. And then the next comes Pratishta, which is also the one which Mahaprabhu mentioned to when he was giving instructions to Sanatana Goswami, and he compared the bhakti lata, or the what's the name in English? Lata, creeper. Yes, the creeper of devotion. That it starts with a seed of faith, and then it grows and grows until it reaches Krishna's lotus feet and fructifies in prema. But then we have to be careful gardeners, he says, because along with watering this nice plant, also there will come some weeds. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati mentions that the weeds especially will grow when we water without attention. Or watering is especially done by hearing and chanting, and when we do it offensively, especially with the offense of distraction and inattention, carelessness, then the weeds will grow from that watering, mostly. And these weeds, Mahaprabhu says, are koti, unlimited, millions. But few of them are, and he lists 6. And among these 6 is Lobha, Puja, Pratishta. And Pratishta is the one also which Raghunath Das Goswami identifies. So Pratishta, Lobha means something which you want to gain for yourself from the practice of devotional service. And Puja is also expectation that you will receive some honor, worship out of that. And Pratishta is, as Prabhupada translates this to name, fame, distinction, to be someone special, distinct. And Raghunath Das Goswami says, so this Pratishta, desire for fame or for it's a self-centeredness. It's again the same abhiman, the same false pride of I and mine. But this time it's connected with your devotional identity. But it's not. It doesn't put you in the right position of a fallen servant who wants to be reinstated, but puts you in the center. That's why you want that attention and distinction. And then he says that Pratishta is like Shvapacha Ramani. Ramani is a prostitute. And Shvapacha means a dog cooker, literally. So, and that previous Kapata, the deceit, is her illicit lover. So these two go together. And Raghunath Das Goswami says they are very shameless because they're very difficult to detect by your own endeavor. You kind of go along with your practice and they can grow and grow and grow and you don't notice. And then ultimately you actually become, you cool down. You think you're in the fire, but you're becoming cold because of this Kapata and Pratishta. So subtle, very difficult. So what is the solution for this? Any suggestions? He gives that in the verse itself, Raghunath Das Goswami, but maybe you can suggest. Okay. What's the intention for that? You quote Oh, okay. So smash your head we're doomed. Are we? Are we? Well, I mean, it looks hopeless, definitely, but are we really doomed? When it is really hopeless and when there is hope? It's hopeless when we... Yes, it's a question of the attitude, actually. It becomes hopeless when when our devotion becomes covered, and becomes, well, it is covered. That's how, before it becomes pure and uncovered, before it becomes anyabhilashita, with zero anything material, gross or subtle, then it is covered by jnana and karma. And the tendencies, when we see these challenges, anarthas, anything on the path, I'll figure it out. And I'll work it out. These are the coverings of jnana and karma. It is a problem. We think we can deal with this. I'll figure it out. I'll deal with it. And then it's hopeless. There is absolutely no chance that we can deal with this ourselves. We cannot. We cannot take and pick up ourselves and, like, what's that story anyway? Somebody who picks them, himself and lift. We cannot do it. But there is a hope, and the hope is when someone comes and helps. But we have to put ourselves in the proper environment so that we receive that mercy. Like Sachinandan Maharaj was giving the class on Janmashtami, and he gave the example with a cup, which I will not show because it's full, but he said, if you want to have if it's raining and you want to get some water from the rain in this cup, we have to put it in the rain and put it in this way. If we put it in the opposite way, and then it will not be full, nothing will come inside. In other words, we have to position ourselves in such a way. In other words, we have to endeavor. Mercy doesn't mean, well, when it comes, it will come. It has nothing to do with me. It actually has a lot to do with us, with our endeavor and our desire and our focus. But the result and the anarthas, they are like the demons. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur compares the different demons in Vrindavana, which Krishna killed as obstacles to Vraja Bhakti, especially those demons which he killed in Vrindavan. And there he identified them with different anarthas. And we cannot deal with them ourselves, because in Vrindavan only Krishna and Balaram removes the demons. And we have to be like the Vrajavasis. What do they do when the demons come? They naturally take shelter. Krishna, please help. Please save us. Of course, for the sake of Lila, sometimes, especially the boys, they join Krishna. Like in Bhagavatam, it's very short, the story of Dhenukasura. The asses came, first Dhenuka came, and Balaram just took him and whirled him and threw him, and he died, and then the others came. But in Garga Samhita, some other Shastras also, it's described a lot in details, and it's mentioned how actually he attacked first Krishna. And, it was a whole story, but the thing was, at one point, even the Krishna's friends, the coward boys, they came and we'll kill you, and they were hitting him with sticks and even a smaller boy, I forgot his name, Vishal. He was smaller, and then he had a ball, and he threw his ball to the ass demon. But that's it's just part of the lila. it doesn't show that they actually thought. Or like when Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, and sometimes they said his friends, they also put their sticks. Well, we actually keep or Madhumangalam. You can keep this mountain only because of my blessings, because I'm a Brahmana. So this is just part of the lila. But otherwise, the mood of the Vrijavasis, they always take shelter, no matter what happens in what situation. So yes, there is great hope, and although it seems we are in a situation that we have no chance, but the examples we hear from Shastras are there, especially recent examples, like their ancient Mahajans, like the Acharyas explains, and these are, please come, these are given in Srimad Bhagavatam and other Shastras, and then there are recent Mahajans and Mahajans from the Caitanya Caritamrta from more recent time, which is much closer to us and we can identify. And for example, Jaga and Madai are typical examples of hopeless cases. They were so fallen. There was no sin that they have not performed. But due to the mercy of the devotees, they were saved. Again, we can see their mood after that. When they were saved, and Lord Chaitanya told them, now you act as Vaishnavas and you forget about your previous problems and sins like that. And they did that, but still, what was Madai's internal mood? It's described in Chaitanya Bhagavat. He could not overcome his feeling of guilt that he hit Nityananda Prabhu. So, although what they did, it says that they started chanting 128 rounds and worshipping the Ganges and doing other devotional activities. That was their sadhana. But Madai was just so, he was depressed, we could say. That's the description. He just couldn't overcome this. So one day, when he saw Lord Nityananda, he fell and he cried, and he said, I cannot live anymore with this. I am such an aparadi. Although he was saved and he's a devotee and everybody accepted him as devotee and he's chanting, still he felt there is no hope because what I did, I cannot live. And Nityananda Prabhu said, don't worry, I have forgiven you. Give up this feeling of guilt. And don't think that I was really hurt, because is a father hurt when his son hits him? No. The parents are never hurt. Sometimes we see that children, whatever, in their anger fit, they hit, I want this, they hit them, but they don't take them seriously, the parents. So that's what Nityananda said, and he said, still I will recommend you serve other Vaishnavas, serve others in general, make a ghat, the Ganges, and whoever comes, serve them, and this will actually remove this feeling. But it will remain. We will not forget our past, and this is good actually. We see Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sharanagati, he remembers his life and he says, oh my Lord, what I did, I wasted my life, I did so many wrong things, and but now I submit everything, including my pious and impious activities. He says they are not anymore mine, because everything is yours. My body, my soul, my relatives, my wife, my children, my friends. You're my Janaka, Janani. He says, you're my mother, my father, my lover, my everything to me. So I submit everything to you and you take care. And now I'll be just a dutiful servant of your possessions. I'll just take care of the family, I'll take care of your household, I'll act in a way so that I'll please you, I'll protect these things, they are yours. I'll just be the protector because that's my service, you have given it to me. But everything is yours, everything depends to you, including my previous activities. But still the remembrance of what we did gives us some pain, but that's called dainya. And the more we are advanced, dainya is together with prema. And when there is full prema, there is full dainya, full humility. And Rupa Goswami, he says, understanding how unqualified am I and how high is my hope or my desire, my goal to serve you, he addresses Radha and Krishna. This, I am hopeless. This gives me pain in my heart. Because the moment we realize how great Krishna is and how we are not there, we cannot imagine how from where we are we can join Krishna's supremely pure and wonderful and spiritual pastimes. It's just inconceivable. But then he says, Rupa Goswami, understanding your unlimited mercy or nature as being magnanimous, just like a king and queen are very magnanimous. They give shelter to others and then give away. They take care without, that's their nature. So you're the supreme queen and king, and you are unlimitedly merciful and magnanimous. So that gives me some hope. So there is this feeling of, oh, I'm completely unqualified. I don't know. It's impossible. And at the same time, Krishna is so merciful that there is some hope. And then his term for that is Ashabandha. Prabhupada's translation, hope against hope. So there is no hope if we think we can do it. And there is a great hope when we take shelter of Krishna, and then we know that he can do anything, including a miracle that he can pick us from where we are and take. And only requirement for that is our strong desire, laulyam, our strong desire to be there, to be with Krishna, to serve him through his devotees and associates. And when we have that, that's the qualification, and when Krishna will pick us. But it actually, when we have this strong desire, we're already there. It doesn't matter in which type of energy we are, either the external or internal. It's all the same because we are connected to Krishna with that strong remembrance and feeling of separation. Thank you. Any last comments? Yes, bro.
Do you think when we don't realize we are committing aparadhas, it is hopeless? Because we cannot recognize we are committing aparadhas. Is it hopeless or not?
When we don't realize.
When we don't realize.
Well, again, it depends. We definitely commit aparadhas, which some of them we know, some of them we don't know. The hopelessness or hopefulness depends on whom we put our faith and trust. If we rely on Krishna, that's what the acharyas do. That's what they say. I'm a seasoned aparadhi. They say, I'm a aparadhi. I do countless offenses of which I even don't know. But please, be kind. Overlook. Don't consider them. Then there is a hope. If we think, well, I commit probably many aparadhas I don't know, and I will deal with them anyway, or something like that. Or I don't know, and it's completely hopeless, and I'm doomed. That's also not the way. So we take shelter, whether we know or we don't know about what kind of offenses we're doing. But we follow in the footsteps of the acharyas. That's the most important thing. When we develop their mood or their heart by hearing from them regularly, then we're safe. We're traveling in their well-established path, and no matter what mistake we can do, we are safe because we have taken proper shelter. Yes, Prabhu. Oh, I didn't see you, sorry. I mentioned that in the beginning. Prabhupada says the test is it's not complicated. You don't need a external certificate. You look in your heart and you see where your attraction is. Where attraction goes, attention flows, as Vaisheshika Prabhu often says. So you see where attention is, your attraction is. And if it's towards Krishna, and you will experience different things from what you'll experience when you are covered by anarthas. So the more this attraction grows, that's how you know. And the less the attraction from the material, gross and subtle activities is there, then you know you're getting free. And Srila Prabhupada says that we are supposed to feel how we're advancing. And this is the test. It's not very complicated. You understand. And on the other hand, it's not that when you understand, well, I'm advancing, you actually start feeling I'm really advanced. Then that's another aparada, as I mentioned. That's the abhiman, the pride, and you have to deal with that also. And the more you advance, the more you feel actually I'm not advanced. That's also. But we actually you are aware of your attraction growing. That is not mystical thing. No, that we said. It's not you who are cleaning. It's Krishna in the heart. Yes.
First, I want to thank you for a wonderful lecture. I was thinking of Madai. Madai offended many people, but then he committed a grievous sin by killing Lord Nityananda himself. Lord Chaitanya wanted to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So he needed Lord Nityananda to intercede for him in order to be saved. There was no hope for him unless Lord Nityananda intervenes. So what's the hope for us? So who's going to intercede for us? We have committed so many more offenses than Madai.
Yeah.
And we haven't had the chance to, well, probably we offended Lord Nityananda as well, but is he going to intercede for us? Who's going to save us?
Yeah, thank you. This is very, very important point. First, it's just very shortly, I'll try to say. It was mentioned specifically in Chaitanya Bhagavat that Jagai and Madai didn't offend devotees. They did all kinds of sinful activities, but somehow devotees were just not in their, because they drunkard and, somehow they are, for whatever reasons, they didn't notice whatever. They didn't offend. Even when they actually, first they started running after the first encounter, before they hit it was second time. The first time when Haridas Thakur and Nityananda approached them, they started chasing them, but were too fat and too drunk to. But actually, they came close to Srivas Thakur's house and they made their base there. And for some weeks, they were just drinking nearby the house and they were listening to the kirtan and they enjoy it. And one day actually they saw Nimai, Chaitanya, they told him, "Oh Nimai, you sing so nicely. we dance when you sing. Can you, he said, can you chant Mangala Chandika for us this night? Yes, Nimai went away, didn't notice. But it's described there, they were not offenders to devotees, but they offended Nityananda Prabhu after that, or Madai. And Nityananda Prabhu forgave him, and he was redeemed in that sense. So we definitely need that, the mercy of a devotee to attain the mercy of Krishna. And for sure Nityananda Prabhu will be merciful to us. That's the guarantee of his representatives. And Srila Prabhupada, there's this example I remember of a devotee who struggled very much with not be able to follow principles or being rough with others, whatever. And there was a Prabhupada's secretary was saying, this devotee cannot live in the temple. We have to send him away. It's just not qualified. And Prabhupada, it was in a morning walk. Prabhupada stopped, looked at him and said, "You do not understand. You do not know how merciful is Lord Nityananda. There is no limit." So anyone, he accepts anyone, provided we are in that sincere mood that we want forgiveness, we don't want to commit aparadhas, and especially we take shelter at his representatives, like Prabhupada will do it, and other devotees. If we're in this humble mood of service, then we'll attract that mercy. Thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai. Gaura Premanande.